Ladies and gentlemen, life doesn't hand us everything on a silver platter. It hands us a challenge, and then it watches what we do with it. You see, the secret to success is not talent alone, and it's not even intelligence, it's consistency. The ability to keep going when everything in you wants to stop, when the crowd gets quiet, when the results aren't coming, when nobody's watching. That's the moment of truth. You have to force yourself to keep going. Why? Because the rewards are never handed to the ones who start fast. They're handed to the ones who finish strong. Champions don't win because they feel great every day. They win because they act great even when they feel low. They push through the fog. They get up one more time. They walk forward with heavy feet and a strong will. You're going to face fear. You're going to face fatigue. And yes, you're going to face failure. But don't let any of those become your final story. You were made for more. You've got to say to yourself, I may not feel like it today, but I'm going anyway. I may not see the results yet, but I'm trusting the process. I'm planting seeds now, and I'll harvest them later. Discipline is doing what you said you'd do, long after the feeling you set it in has faded. And you don't need to feel powerful to take a powerful step. You just need to keep going. So next time you hit the wall, don't back off. Don't sit down. Push through. Dig deep. Take one more step, then another. That's how mountains move. That's how success is earned. And that's how your life changes. Discipline is stronger than emotion. Don't wait to feel motivated. Act now, and motivation will follow. Results come to those who persist, not those who start. It's not about the first step, it's about the next 1,000. Excuses are easy. Progress is hard. Choose hard. Your feelings are not the boss. Your commitments are. Tired doesn't mean done. It just means you're getting stronger. Consistency compounds. A little every day becomes a lot over time. Your future is shaped by the choices you make on your hardest day. Pain is temporary, but quitting can be permanent. You grow the most when you push through the least comfortable moments. Don't stop when it's hard. Stop when it's done. Discipline is stronger than emotion. Emotion is fleeting. It comes and goes like the weather. One moment you're fired up and ready to take on the world, and the next, you're tired, frustrated, maybe even doubting yourself. But discipline, that's something you build. It's not a mood, it's a muscle. See, emotion can start the race, but only discipline finishes it. Emotion says, let's do it today. But discipline says, let's do it every day. Emotion is the spark, but discipline is the firewood that keeps the flame alive. And when that initial excitement fades, because it always does, it's discipline that keeps you going. Step after step, brick after brick. The real winners in life aren't the ones who always felt like it. They're the ones who showed up even when they did. They kept their promises to themselves when no one was watching. They honored their goals when it wasn't convenient, when it wasn't glamorous, when nobody was clapping. You can't control how you feel every day, but you can control what you do. And if you let your actions be led by discipline instead of emotion, you'll win battles most people never even fight. That's the edge. That's the difference. That's where greatness lives. Results come to those who persist, not those who start. Anybody can start. Starting is easy. All it takes is a little excitement, a little inspiration, maybe even a cup of coffee and a good quote on the wall. But the ones who reach the finish line, the ones who see the real results, are the ones who keep going after the music fades. You see, life doesn't reward you for intention. It rewards you for action, and more importantly, for sustained action. That's the key. The world is full of people who had a great beginning, but no follow-through. They had the vision, they had the dream, but when it got hard, when it got slow, they faded. The real magic is in showing up again, and again and again, even when the progress is invisible, even when the applause is gone. Because success isn't a one-time event. It's the accumulation of doing the right thing over and over, even when it feels like nothing's changing. Persistence is the quiet force that turns effort into evidence. It's the daily grind that builds something no one can take from you. So don't just start strong. Stay strong. Stay in the game longer than most are willing to. That's where the results live. That's where the separation happens. Not at the starting line, but long after most have already walked away. It's easy to come up with reasons. Reasons why it didn't happen. Why the timing wasn't right. Why the conditions weren't perfect. You don't even have to try. Excuses show up all on their own. They're always waiting with open arms to comfort you when things get uncomfortable. But here's the truth. Every excuse is a step away from the life you want. Progress, on the other hand, that's a different path. It's uphill. It's uncomfortable. It demands effort when you're tired, focus when you're distracted, and discipline when you'd rather take the day off. It doesn't apologize. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. And it certainly doesn't bargain. It demands everything, but it gives you everything back. Choosing hard is not about suffering. It's about strength. It's about deciding that your future is worth more than your comfort. That the life you want is worth more than the story you've been telling yourself. Excuses build walls. Progress builds doors. So when the moment comes, and it always does, when you have to choose between easy and right, between comfort and growth, choose hard. Because hard today builds the strength you'll need tomorrow. And once you make it through that storm, you'll realize it wasn't the weight that broke you. It was the decision to keep carrying it. Feelings are like the weather, sunny one minute, cloudy the next. You can't build a steady life on something that shifts so often. One day you feel motivated. The next day you feel tired. One day you're inspired, the next you're uncertain. If you let feelings run the show, you'll always be starting over. Always reacting, always waiting for the perfect mood to move forward. But commitments, that's different. Commitments are rooted in decision, not emotion. They're not based on how you feel. They're based on what you said you would do. That's the difference between dabbling and dedicating. A feeling says do it if you feel like it. A commitment says do it anyway. You don't train at 6 a.m. because it feels good. You do it because you committed to growth. You don't show up to the tough days of your job, your business, your goals, because it's comfortable. You show up because your word means something. You see, the world doesn't respond to what you feel. It responds to what you do. And if you want your life to move in the direction of success, your commitments have to drive the ship. Let feelings ride in the back seat. Let discipline take the wheel. Because at the end of the day, the people who move mountains aren't the ones who always felt like showing up. They're the ones who showed up anyway. You don't grow by staying comfortable. You grow by stretching, by pushing past the point where it's easy, past the point where you feel like stopping. Tired is not the signal to quit. It's the signal that you're doing the work that most people avoid. Think about it. Muscles don't grow until they're challenged. You don't get stronger on the first rep. You get stronger when it starts to burn, when your arms shake, when your mind says, that's enough, and you say one more. That's where growth begins. And it's the same in life. Mentally, emotionally, professionally. Progress comes after fatigue, not before it. Most people hit tired and stop. But the few, the rare ones, they hit tired and dig in. They understand that feeling exhausted isn't failure. It's feedback. It means you're moving. It means the process is working. So when you feel tired, don't see it as a stop sign. See it as a milestone. Proof that you're on the path. That you're building something that lasts. Because every time you keep going when you're tired, you build not just strength, but resilience. And that's what separates the average from the extraordinary. Remember, rest is part of the process. But quitting is not. Tired just means you're in the middle of the work. And when you get to the other side of that, you won't just be better. You'll be stronger, sharper, and more prepared for what's next. Consistency compounds. A little every day becomes a lot over time. That's one of life's quiet truths. You don't have to make massive leaps every day. You just have to keep moving. One small step, repeated with purpose, builds something incredible over time. But here's the catch. It's so simple. Most people overlook it. They want big results. Fast. They want fireworks. But real success doesn't come in explosions. It comes in layers. You write 1 page a day, you've got a book in a year. You save a little each week, you've built wealth in a decade. You read 10 pages a night, you've filled your mind with 100 books before the year's out. That's the power of consistency. It's not flashy, but it's faithful. And most people give up not because they failed, but because they didn't see the payoff soon enough. They planted seeds and expected a harvest the next morning. But real growth takes time. It happens underground, quietly, out of sight. Then one day it breaks the surface, and people call it overnight success. But you'll know better. It wasn't one day that changed everything. It was every day. The days you showed up, the days you followed through, the days you could have quit but didn't. So if the results aren't visible yet, don't worry. Keep doing the right thing. Keep showing up. Because consistency may start small, but it finishes strong. And when it compounds, it doesn't just add, it multiplies. Your future is shaped by the choices you make on your hardest day. Anyone can make good decisions when everything's going right. When the sun's shining, the mood is high, and the path is clear. But that's not where your future is built. Your future is shaped in the dark, in the doubt, in the storm. When you're tired, uncertain, frustrated, and nothing seems to be working. Those are the days that test you. And more importantly, those are the days that form you. See, your toughest days are crossroads. You can choose to step back, to take the easy way out, to tell yourself, not today. Or you can choose to lean in, to stay committed, to move forward even when it's uphill and heavy. That choice right there, that's the one that rewrites your story. Because it's not the perfect day that builds character. It's the difficult day. It's the day when nobody would blame you for quitting, but you don't. It's the day when every part of you says stop, and you whisper back, no, not yet. Those are the moments that stack up. And later, when people see your strength, your results, your success, they won't see the tough choices you made in private. But you'll know exactly where the turning point was. It was on that hard day, when you could have folded, but did. So when life presses down, remember this: your future is listening. Make the choice today that your tomorrow will thank you for. Pain shows up to test you, not to stop you. It comes as a teacher, not a punishment. It says, how bad do you want? How much are you willing to endure for what you said you wanted? And yes, it hurts. It's uncomfortable. It's exhausting. And sometimes it feels like it'll never end. But here's the truth: pain doesn't last forever. It passes. It changes you, strengthens you, sharpens you, and then it moves on. But quitting plants roots. It leaves a mark, not just on your goals, but on your confidence, your self-respect, your future decisions. When you quit, it becomes easier to do it again the next time things get hard. And that's the real danger. Not the pain, but the habit of escape. Most of the time, people quit right before the breakthrough. They turn around one corner before the finish line. They walk away just when they were about to level up. And all because they thought the pain was the end, when really it was the path. So the next time pain shows up, don't see it as the enemy. See it as a sign you're growing. See it as proof you're in the process. Let it be the reason you push forward, not the excuse to stop. Because the pain will pass. But quitting, that can echo for years. Choose the discomfort that leads to strength over the regret that never goes away. Keep going. You're closer than you think. Growth doesn't happen when everything feels good. It doesn't show up when life is smooth and the path is easy. It shows up in the resistance, in the stretch, in the struggle, in the discomfort. Those moments you want to avoid. That's where the real transformation is hiding. It's easy to stay in the comfort zone. No risk, no stress, no failure. But here's the catch: no growth either. Comfort never builds strength. It maintains it. If you want to rise, if you want to evolve, you've got to lean into the friction. That's where you find your edge. That's where you find out what you're really made of. Think about a seed breaking through the soil. It has to push against resistance just to reach the light. Muscles, they tear a little before they grow. Diamonds, formed under pressure. It's a pattern written into everything that grows stronger. It first goes through tension. And in your life, the same principle applies. That conversation you've been avoiding, that challenge you keep putting off, that goal that scares you, that's the training ground. That's where your next level lives. Not in the easy days, but in the hard ones you decide to face head on. So when you feel the urge to step back, to play it safe, to wait for the perfect moment, don't step in, step through. Because every time you choose courage over comfort, you expand, you grow, you become a little more of who you're meant to be. And someday when you look back, you won't remember the days that were easy. You'll remember the days that demanded more from you. And you answered. It's easy to stop when things get tough, when the challenge feels bigger than you, when the obstacles seem insurmountable, when the weight gets heavy. It's tempting to throw in the towel and walk away. After all, who would blame you? It's hard. It's uncomfortable. It's frustrating. But here's the thing: hard doesn't mean impossible. Hard means you're on the verge of something meaningful. If you stop when it's hard, you'll never know how close you were to the breakthrough. Success doesn't belong to the ones who give up at the first sign of difficulty. It belongs to the ones who keep pushing, even when the end seems far away. The ones who keep their eyes on the prize, not on the pain. Hard days are just part of the process. They're not the end of the story. They're the chapters that test you, that shape you, that build you into someone capable of handling the next challenge. The real question is, how badly do you want to see it through? Because greatness doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for persistence. So don't stop when the road gets rocky. Don't stop when the dream seems far off. Stop when the task is complete. Stop when the goal is reached. Because it's only then that you can look back and say, I did it. I fought through the hard, and I made it. That's when the victory feels real. When it's finished. When you didn't quit. Keep going. Finish the job. Your success is waiting at the finish line. Just one step beyond the moment you want to quit. In life, we are all confronted with moments where we have to make a choice, to push forward or to turn back. The path to success is rarely paved in smooth stone. In fact, it's more often full of cracks, potholes, and obstacles that seem impossible to navigate. But it's these very moments, the ones that test us the most, that offer the greatest opportunity for growth and success. When you feel tired, when the going gets tough, and when the dream seems far out of reach, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you're not cut out for the journey. It's easy to listen to that inner voice that says, maybe I should just quit. But the truth is, quitting in those moments doesn't just stop you from achieving your goal. It stops you from discovering who you are capable of becoming. Because growth is born from struggle. Success isn't a result of doing what's easy. It's the product of doing what's hard. and doing it consistently, even when it's uncomfortable. The discomfort you experience on this journey, it's a sign you're on the right track. It's not a signal to quit. It's a signal to dig in, to find the strength you didn't know you had, and to push through the adversity. Whether you're building a business, pursuing a personal goal, or striving for success in any area of life, you will face challenges, but it's how you respond to those challenges that will determine your outcome. This is where the power of consistency becomes so crucial. Success doesn't happen in a single moment of brilliance. It happens in the daily grind, the small actions that, when stacked day after day, create results that compound into something far greater than you could ever have imagined. Just like a single drop of water dripping consistently over time can carve out a canyon, your small disciplined efforts will build something massive over time. If you choose to show up every day, no matter how difficult it seems, you will eventually find yourself exactly where you've always dreamed of being. But here's the reality. The world doesn't reward those who give up. It rewards those who stay the course, who fight through the fatigue, the doubt, and the fear. It rewards the people who continue to move forward, even when they don't feel like it, who keep their commitments when the excitement fades, who keep pushing when they're tired. The journey won't be easy, but the reward is always worth it for those who persist. And remember, persistence is not about never feeling tired or frustrated. It's about continuing despite those feelings. It's about showing up on the days when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work even when you don't see immediate results. Because results aren't just built on effort. They're built on the courage to stay in the game when everyone else has decided to quit. If you wait for the perfect moment to start, or for the perfect feeling to appear, you may never start at all. But when you commit to moving forward, regardless of the circumstances, you begin to create your own momentum. There's also something important to understand about discomfort. Pain, struggle, and hardship aren't signs that you're failing. They're signs that you're growing. They're signs that you're building resilience, strength, and character. The seed has to crack open before it can grow into a strong tree. The muscle has to break down before it can grow stronger. Likewise, the person you are today is not the person you'll become tomorrow. The process of growth often means stepping outside your comfort zone, confronting your fears, and challenging yourself in ways you've never imagined. It's true that pain is temporary. It might feel like it's never going to end when you're in the thick of it. But every challenge is a moment in time. Every setback is just a step in the process. What you do with those moments will define your life's trajectory. Do you use them as an excuse to stop, or do you use them as fuel to keep going? Remember, every time you keep going in the face of difficulty, you're laying a brick in the foundation of your success. At the same time, let's not forget the power of commitment. Commitment is the foundation that keeps you going when emotion fades. It's the promise you make to yourself to continue, even when you don't feel like it. Feelings will come and go. Some days you'll be on fire, and other days you'll feel like giving up. But if you can hold on to your commitments, even when the emotional fuel runs dry, you'll keep making progress. Commitments are like promises you've made to your future self, and when you honor them, you honor the life you're building. The road to success will always have bumps, and the journey will never be a straight line, but that's exactly why it's worth pursuing. The lessons, the character, the strength you build through perseverance, they're priceless. And at the end of the day, when you look back at all the obstacles you've overcome, the tiredness you've pushed through, and the moments when you chose not to quit, you will see that it was all worth it. And here's something else to keep in mind. Your future is being shaped right now by every decision you make, especially the hard ones. Every choice you make today, every time you push through, every time you choose to keep going instead of giving up, creates your tomorrow. The person you are becoming is the result of the habits you build today. So choose wisely, choose courage, choose persistence, choose growth. Pain, doubt, and fatigue may be part of the process, but quitting is the only thing that can hold you back permanently. Don't let it win. The next time you find yourself questioning whether you can keep going, remember, the reward is always on the other side of the struggle. The moment you think you can't go any further, that's exactly when you're about to break through. Keep going, keep showing up. Your future self will thank you, because success is built not on talent, not on luck, but on perseverance. Keep moving forward, keep doing the work, and remember, don't stop when it's hard, stop when it's done.